Such a beautiful day. It's
Just
uh
making coffee.
it's really nice to kind of be all together. Mother's energy, father's energy.
Yeah.
Special timing, man. I'm telling you, the difficulty adjustments, they're they're profound.
Yeah, what's going on? You want to see something also profound before you start going
Yes.
there?
Yeah, yeah.
Look at the
Hi.
look at the foam.
Love it.
1 centimeter above the Yeah, I just
How's,
woke up, so
how was your day? You just had a sleep?
yeah, I just had a nap, like 20 minutes or so. Was
Nice.
meditating, doing some breathing, and felt like the sleep is coming, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let that happen, and just allowed it myself to pass out.
Mm,
So it's cool.
nice.
Yes. Coming here. I'm coming here. How do I sit here today?
Well, that looks good.
Yeah, it's a good one. Oh, hello there. Almost looks like a
Yeah.
beer. What's
Mm.
going on with difficulty adjustment?
Um, it was really like insightful learning. I think, whenever
Yeah.
you come with your family and you spend time and you communicate with them the importance of being honest, and it's a challenge, I think, sometimes when people are not doing their own work, and you have to have so much compassion, because I I believe that when people are alive, they're already enough. They're already blessings,
Mm.
you know, uh, and we're so conditioned by this world to feel like something is wrong with us, or we project that stuff out to the world. If somebody is maybe slower, older, not as fast, not as, but like they're alive, that's the gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so people will project limitations onto people's wisdom or genius because they struggle to see it in themselves. So instead of encouraging a behavior of empowerment, there's a really strong disempowering approach.
You, yeah, yeah.
And
Like
what I mean,
the first thing that comes is like to disempower, to downgrade.
right,
Mm.
the downgrade, to downgrade, to say, oh, I can't, or I don't have the energy, or I don't have the ability,
Yeah.
or even worse, blame it. Oh, like that person can't do it, so I have to stay, or um I choose not to I choose, and not even consciously, unconsciously, there's a choice of not willing to step up to the paradigm because, oh, that's the way that it's always been, and
General.
because
General.
that's the way that we can't change it.
Mm.
So it's fascinating when you sit with your extended family or your grandparents, and there's a need for them to stay in that story. And when you ask questions and you get even more curious, you know that they're not coming from the heart anymore because they're coming from the mind, because there's anger involved.
Emotion, emotional attachment to the past. So there's pain. Pain is talking.
Suffering.
Maybe before you continue, also I want to invite you to look at this fucking is something I'm doing. It's something right here, I guess. Look at the layering of the coffee. Every half centimeter, there is a new layer. I don't know if you're able to see.
I can see the colors. Yeah. What?
It's like a rainbow.
Mm.
Sorry, I thought that's very
No,
important
I
to
love it.
share.
I love it. The layers, right? I mean, everything, the cream of the crop rises to the top.
The creep of the. I don't know this one.
The cream of the crop rises to the top.
Cream of the crop rises to the top. What is the cream of the crop?
So usually like the best stuff always rises to the top. The shit settles, right?
Hmm. Ah, okay, okay, okay. So you had some family challenges yesterday, what I hear, with and you tried to have a conversations with your grandparents and it didn't work out, or
Uh, I mean, I believe it always works out because it always gets people to think. Um,
right? Yeah.
so I really have, the perspective where there's an approach of honoring a really difficult conversation and a thoughtful conversation and having those components and is like, okay, you're saying you can't do it and you're saying that you can't come or you're saying that you can't experience that way of life anymore because of your age, but is that really true?
Hmm.
Or are you choosing that
Yeah.
decision because that's all you choose to believe? And
It's like
when you break that barrier or you get curious about it, it's like it's a challenge because people's egos flare up and they say, "What do you mean? I can't do that." And they tell them and they really believe it.
yeah.
And then guess what? Who's the person that then they get upset at? And it's me, obviously, which is fine. But the point is that you go deeper and you ask deeper questions, and then everyone else in the family is like, hey, like, why don't
Mhm.
you stop? Why don't you just stop asking the questions if she's really upset? Because there's a reason that it's happening in that moment. And I find that if we're not creating that space of listening, and it also doesn't help the rest of the family recognize the suffering or the pain that's existent in that person.
Mm.
So if we're not genuinely curious, hello, beautiful. I love how she
Yes.
comes right now. What a beautiful timing.
Yeah, sweetheart. Sweetheart. Yeah, family
I,
is a tricky one, and what I hear, like like it's. I have similar, and it's weird to say that, but I saw my father, like going towards death, literally very straightforward, like the way
right.
he was doing, and I was ringing the bells to the family the way I could, and then the death came, the day of death, I was like, kind of like, I told you so. I didn't say that, I was not that in that energy. But it's interesting how no one is not willing to see that. Doesn't matter, like doesn't matter the how we try to put it, what we try to say is just this perceived authority. Like the way my logic explains this is just like I don't have authority in a family, and therefore no one is listening. And like I don't want to have authority anyways. Fundamentally, like it's not about that. But I feel people need authority to listen. They would listen to the doctors, but not
Right.
me. Even though, I went beyond what fucking doctors can learn, not on like on different kind of level, different path, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They still choose to trust doctors until the doctors pretty much killed my father with a mistake or something like that. Nor I'm not saying that my father was not going for it, like subconsciously or consciously, I don't know. But it's just sometimes, like, what I want to say, it's the only thing we can do is just stay in integrity, like literally we cannot do anything about it. It's just like we cannot change anyone. We cannot, like, nada, no posible. Nor I would like to, nor I would want to, actually. Now when I think about it, it's like I don't want to change anyone, because then I'm become responsible for somebody. Like, fuck you. It's your responsibility. But of course there is a deep pain of seeing someone suffering, especially who we love, from pain or like bullshit, as you say. Self stories, and stories are powerful that we tell to ourselves. For sure.
Amen. Yeah. The story that we tell ourselves is the way that we're going to live our life. And I think that that's
Yeah.
the thing, is having the audacity to tell ourselves a better story. And if we choose to, then we will. If we don't, then we won't. And that's the thing, is from my perspective, when we have that awareness and where we know it, asking questions, not to change anybody, but to get curious about them, is where I get inspired, because I find that if we genuinely ask a better question, then that person will discover themselves, because it's not in the changing of them, it's in the curiosity of them that they will discover themselves. And what I find, that a lot of the paradigms that have come before us, is that they're not even willing to get curious. They're not even willing. Uh they just choose what is their perceived reality, and they are like locked in a box, and they throw away the key. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the way that you want to see it, and who you are in this world, is that when you throw away that lockbox, or throw away the key to that box, and you keep yourself in it, you've essentially allowed yourself to be the living dead. And this is what I'm seeing, is like in people's old age, there's a choice that they know that they could live out their last decade, or years, in the most brilliant and highest state of awareness in the physical space, but they choose to basically dwindle away, because their story is I'm dying, instead of I'm actually living.
Imagine how, like, that's for me a very sad part when I observe elders these days. That's why I'm so passionate to have more elders in our calls, because it's a miserable state. Because they what I see, it's useless. The feeling that elders have, it's useless, and like, imagine living in that state for a decade or 20 years. It fucking eats from within. Like, useless is and I can unpack what I'm saying with useless is not being needed.
Mhm.
Nor no one is curious, no one is coming to visit, or if it's coming to visit, then just for, because of the patterns, let's say, like every Christmas to meet, to visit grandma. But like, so only those events. But there is so much wisdom that is alive today, and if elders would be able to change that story that they tell to themselves, to be inspired, to be able still to dream in that age, which I think it could be very difficult, but is definitely possible. they would have like the world would become just a better place by having these kind of people in the room, and having genuine conversations, not argument about government or structure or whatever.
That exactly.
Because that's what's going on now. That's why I was slapping in my Christmas table at my family gathering. I fucking smashed the table, man. I would be coming back from from Sweden back to Lithuania to meet my family, and then the fucking I tried to have a conversations, but everyone like would be going into politics and talking about TV shows, and I'm like, smash the table. What the fuck is going on here? I'm coming home, and you brainwashing my fucking mind with the political bullshit. Like fuck you. So I raised a big question. I had to stand up in my family. I have to. Like it was not even a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, and it's interesting when there's real serious stuff to have a conversation about, and I agree with you because this is important. That a lot of the times it's uncomfortable to have that around the dinner table with the people that you love, but that's really what's going to break through everybody's paradigm. It's easy to have a conversation about the surface level bullshit of politics and retirement and pension and all that crap. Uh,
Yeah.
but what's really more important is focusing on some of the problems that are perceived in our minds. And, you know, I know that I look at, my grandmother and she's so wise and so integral and such a powerful compass in my life. However, I wonder too there's moments where you see there is an opportunity where we all can learn. And with full faith in ourselves, and especially the faith that my grandma has, she can learn even more, and there's this thing is like my uncle tried to say, you don't respect your grandma, and I said, uncle, like you don't get it. We need to respect ourselves. Like it's not about respecting each other, it's about respecting ourselves. And if we respect ourselves, then we'll have even more respect for everybody around
By
us because
default,
because we're
by
truthful.
default, then you just
Yeah.
respect others. Yeah.
Because we're truthful to ourselves, we're focusing on honesty, and we're not telling ourselves story. Whenever there's a curious question and people become angry, you can, from that space, immediately understand that there's something that's being hidden. And there's nothing that anybody can say that it's not true because it's in the energy of the response that is coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And so that to me was really fascinating. And I realized in that moment, bro, that and I realized because for the longest time it was like, okay, grandma's and in that moment I realized that the real compass is actually now inside of me. In the real compass is now I stepped into such a high level of integrity in that moment because I realized that I was able to heal so much stuff within me now because I could see where my grandma's pain still is. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with where she's at, and she's just on her journey. But what I realized is that it's because of that question that now I can actually step up to the capacity of realizing, wow, I fully I fully stepped into the compass within me to have these difficult conversations and these it didn't matter where the elder or how old or whatever, because ultimately it's love.
It's so beautiful, brother. So I'm so grateful to hear that. Like, I feel like I had similar with my father, but I'm happy that you stepped in into that without needing your relative to pass away. For me, it happened with my father's death, like literally.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful that you able to, to recognize what you're talking about and like, oh, now the compass is here. I cannot rely even on what I was hoping I can rely, what I was looking for after, like my whole life. and it doesn't mean that you don't look after, but you're starting guiding more from North Star within, and that gives, gives this, it becomes like we become permissionless. Like we cannot not speak the truth. If we need to speak the truth in the family, somebody has to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to stand up and speak the truth. And doesn't matter if the family will fucking reject for 5 years or 10 years, like Alan Watts is saying, let people go, but contemplate on their return. And I love that. It's
Mm.
like I cannot, I don't want to, in the first place, I wouldn't even want to someone to hang out with me out of obligation, or
Yeah.
yeah, something like this, because it's my son, because it's my father, because it's my mother. No, 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 it has to be a fucking free choice anyways.
Mm.
Otherwise we cannot meet in the respect, we cannot honor each other's presence if there is a calculation.
Well, this is the gift that also came is as I kind of not kind, as I stepped in and felt that, then it really bonded my mom and me even more because my mom has seen that, although has not been able to express it in that capacity because it's her mom, right?
Yeah.
So she's been in this state of like um, knowing and maybe even like some sort of uncertainty about expressing, but she's still super strong and expressive. And so the amazing thing is that we had a really beautiful conversation, and it's like mom and I are on the same wavelength. She just gets it, and she's so graceful in her energy and her awareness, and so at a high state of curiosity
Mm-hmm.
that it's like, wow, I get my mom and I can talk about these depth of awareness. That is such a gift, and like we sat for an hour after the whole experience and we just talked around and she's like, I get it, and this is how I've seen things, and this is how it was when I was a kid, and you know she, and she really was able to unpack a lot of things that you could see that she just really healed, or she's healed. And now that we have each other to speak with on that level of paradigm, it's beautiful because there's an essence of healing the ancestral wisdom from those communications, because mom and I, like my mom, I get to have these profound
Wow.
conscious
Super cool.
conversations with them. And so
Very
that
cool.
that's like a
Imagine
huge
how your mom feels. Super awesome must be for her,
oh,
man. Hey, Darius.
hey Darius,
Gents, brothers, how are you today?
we're just talking about mothers and the grace that we get to learn from them, and uh the wisdom that moms pass on to us, and the relationships. Like I was just sharing how much my relationship with my mom just got like super close over the last 24 hours.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, actually, well, with my mom, I always had a very close relationship because uh, my dad wasn't there to kind of raise me. He was there,
Mm,
but he wasn't.
he wasn't
I
there.
didn't have that kind of dad and son relationship. So, yeah, I was always close to my mom, and when I was like probably 20 or whatever, yeah, I started talking to her like and telling her almost like everything about my life, not with all the details because if she would know all the details, she would just have a heart attack. but but yeah, I have really really close relationship to mom, and she's energetically she's very strong and powerful person, and even like when she sometimes she has a dream or something, and then I receive a call like, it's everything okay and blah blah blah. But her dreams, dude, it's like several times. It's like she had a dream of something, which she knows all the meaning about, all the signs in a dream, and then like within 2 3 days, boom, some sort of like things happening out of that dream.
Yep.
It's crazy stuff.
It's beautiful, that level of awareness, because they are really communicating. It's coming like us. We've come through them, right? And so
Yeah,
they are able to pass on and receive those messages and then pass it on to us. And I think honoring that grace that our mothers and that mother's energy gives all of us, right? Whether it's our mothers, our grandmothers, our sisters, our Mother Earth, like there is so much magic in listening to that, right? Because it's
yeah,
it's wisdom. It's pure wisdom.
yeah. It's downloads from above.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And it's so beautiful. Like, I mean, they like the way parents, I guess, both are connected with us, you know, because we are the part of them.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Mhm.
it's like it's just an extension. We are an extension of our parents, you know. Like if
Yeah.
that's so, of course, they have, you know, they have, and I noticed that in myself, you know, like I'm not far away from my father. I'm not far away from my mom. You know, now when I pay attention closely, the way I am, who I am, and like what I do, and it's like, oh, it's more and more becomes obvious
Mm.
that is the same energy, that just, you know, energy just like continues reliving and living and living, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
for sure. Like, uh, I started like seeing a lot of things uh, from my dad's character, but not until probably 5 years ago. Before I didn't, maybe I just didn't think about it
mm,
that deep. But um, I started seeing his, you know, characteristics of in me, like how I would behave or how I would react to certain things, and then like, and there would sometimes it would click. Oh shit! I just, you know, did something exactly like my dad. No, no, no. I need to kind of reverse that and then fix it, you know, because because I don't want to, you know, be like stubborn or grumpy or whatever, like and react, and then um the probably the bad, not the bad, but you can say it's a bad thing to that I've kind of uh got genetically from him was that in some sort of argument, sometimes, not all the time, it was just sometimes, that even that I know that I'm not right, I would go until fucking end, trying to convince that it's, you know, it's my truth, you know. So i had to uh I had to work on that. And you know, once you see things in you, how you behave, once you
Yeah.
start seeing, once you start self-reflecting and observing that, that is the beginning of the, you know, of the fixing the issue, let's say.
That's beautiful,
oh,
bro. Yeah.
cool.
And uh that's why it's so important for honesty and vulnerability to come out, because
Yes,
it's the
that's
ultimate,
the only way.
it's the only way.
Honesty and vulnerability, yes, that's the only way. You have to be honest with yourself first, because uh if you keep, you know, keep going for, you know, that pretension, let's call it, with, you know, stubbornness and your eyes closed, it's just gonna keep rolling and rolling. You have to be like open and honest to yourself, like, okay, well, I know that I'm not right, so I will put, and the ego as well part, I will put down my ego, and I will admit that you know, I don't know something or I'm not right, and try to find a solution, and come up with some sort of uh meet in between, with the partner, with the friend, with whoever.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we are seeds of our parents.
Yes, we have the saying in Lithuania, apple doesn't fall far away from the tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's like even with the trauma, there's, let's say, generational trauma. It's not only from our parents coming, but from our ancestors. I don't remember exact number. Was it like 19 generations or something? Well, they say. I'm not
I
sure for
wonder I
sure, but
wonder who figured it I wonder who figured it out, that
yeah, yeah,
exact
yeah,
number.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, somebody figured it out, who is getting downloads as well,
Well, the
of
elders,
past lives or whatever. I do believe that there's stuff like that, like downloads from past lives, and everything. I actually want to do the past life regression thingy, the therapy or whatever, to see what they say. I mean, I'm still kind of, you know, I used to be very skeptical, but now, since so many things happen in my life, I'm starting to kind of be open to all the possibilities.
yeah. So the organism that we are part of is billions of years old. And so if the organism that we are part of is billions of years old and we have a piece of that, that makes us just the same. But we have to uncover those deep layerings and peel back the onions. Some of the elders, they talk about 7 generations, seven to seven. So healing 7 back so you can heal 7 forward. However, I believe that there's even the depth of it is actually way more intergenerational because of the evolutionary psychology of an organism. So we know that the planet, the galaxy, the cosmos is a living, breathing consciousness.
Yeah,
We know
and
science.
actually, yeah, you mentioned that. I remembered I was reading this. Was it a tweet or an article? Something about, yeah, this scientifically was now proven that, I think, like one human cell or atom can uh, can store a certain amount of data, and based out of how many atoms, I think, I don't remember exact thing. What was it? But the long story cut short is that uh, human body can store all the information, the information of how old the universe is. 13.8 billion, I think, years of information. So we are the fucking storage. We are this universe. And all that's why we are remembering stuff, because we are downloading from itself, you know? So we are storing that information in in genes, or in DNA, not the
That's why
cell.
it's so
So
important. That's
yeah,
why
go
it's so
ahead.
important that saying to be the change you wish to see in the world is so important because you only have to do the work on yourself. Because once you discover that we're all mirrors of one another, it comes through you. So you start to funnel and verify and difficulty adjust
Of course.
through the experience of your own life. And as a result, are willing to hold that energy and hold that space. And that, by the way, is the essence of service. That's the essence of a mother's energy. That's the essence of that divine nature, because that is what's holding in service of a nurturing, even if it's difficult, even if it's uncertain, even if it's not making sense. You're willing to be open and vulnerable enough so that people can walk through that path without forcing. And so it's interesting how you say, because when you hold that energy, like, and by the way, fellas, like mother's energy is part of us, like it's what we come from, but we also have father's energy, right? So that masculine, feminine
Of course.
presence in us, right? So we all have mother's energy. We are all part of mother's energy, and now we get to hold that energy, because like that's why I believe Mother's Day is so important, because it's part of us. It's who we are. It's we hold that space for other, like I was with the nephews yesterday, they were watering the plants, grandma's plants, and we get to show them that it's okay to be feminine and to love life and to enjoy these, like uh what maybe in the past our predecessors would thought would be like way too feminine, which is bullshit. It's all art, man. So yeah, I really just want to emphasize the importance of recognizing this influence that is upon us or inside of us, and it has nothing to do with anyone around us. We like that be the change we wish to see in the world. If more of us men or women tap into that mother's energy, that true mother's energy that you're talking about, bro, we're holding a space of like total reverence.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And yes, we do have our father's energy, but we are way stronger interconnected with our mothers. Even our mothers, they feel sometimes, if something happens to you, to their children, they have that feeling because energetically they are more connected to us. Same as, and it's vice versa.
That's why I think it's so important to get curious about that masculine, feminine presence within us, because uh, they're both just as important, because they have different facets, but it's important at times how to use to navigate that. When do I tap more into my masculine? When do I tap more into my feminine? And being okay with that. I think that that's the great part of hey, no, like now I'm gonna be sweet and kind because I need this energy, or I need to
I think
polarize.
integrity wins. Integrity wins no
There we
matter
go.
what.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't matter, it's like I think as soon as we start talking about feminine and masculine, it creates separation right there. And it creates excuses, and it creates stories, and like it. But integrity, it's I like am I like acting out of love from within? That's what it matters. If I am feminine, if I feel now I need to dance, I need to dance. If I feel now I need to chop wood, I need to chop wood.
Thank you.
And it's nothing to do with feminine or masculine, it's just integrity.
But that's
I,
it's still an energy source, right? So the masculine presence and the feminine presence within you, in its wholeness, is still part of integrity. So the toxic side of it is also the opposite, right? So that's why it's not about separation. It's about recognizing that those balance of energies within us is what's necessary. It's just like male and female, right? Like we exist in the physical as two aliens,
Separate genders.
yeah, separate genders. And so although it's the same, we're different genders, but we still make babies, and we still create babies, and we still have to come together to make babies, which is one energy, becomes one energy in that beautiful moment.
One
And
energy
that's
becomes synergy.
yeah. And so that's where the integrity comes in, right? But it's always there. They're both energies are always around. That's why, like, when I say creator, I try never to say man or female. Creator is the essence of that integrity. I love it.
yeah. So we are the integrity of our parents.
Yeah, amazing.
Feminine and masculine came together, boom, integrity. There we go.
Amazing. Yeah.
Look, from it becomes from separation, it becomes oneness, because there's what do you call it, the egg and the sperm, the spermatozoid. It comes into one, and then one cell becomes two, and it goes to all the creation process, the seed of life, flower of life, and everything. So from two separate cells, you become.
You
You
become
understand what I'm saying?
dot. You become dot.
No,
It's you.
yeah,
It's a miracle.
it's my broken English.
It's like
No, beautiful.
it's miracle. I would say miracle. That's the miracle.
Yeah, it's
It's
creation of life.
Yeah.
Hey, we all are miracles. It's
We
just
are.
so amazing that we exist on this planet, and it's possible to reproduce, and it's possible to yeah, it's so cool, the circle of life.
And I was watching that my new friend Eduardo, who's a handpan teacher. So
Mm.
he had an event. I don't know if I told you about it or not. He's a PhD astrophysicist and award-winning, world-known, and blah blah blah. But he dropped that and he went for his passion with the handpan. So he had a show here in Ubud, where he was playing handpan, playing with video visualization, and every video clip was basically how what science knows. It's not how, but what science knows, how the stars were born, how the galaxies formed, and everything. And at the end, from the dust or whatever, from the gases, then the pillars of galaxy, then it came to our galaxy, and the sun. So basically, it ended up that every single thing, life or not life, uh, was born in our sun, in our star, because every single hydrogen atom came from our sun. So we were born in stars, literally. And that is like science proved it already, that we were born in stars. We are stars.
Amen.
So what do we do with that? With that all knowledge, what do we do now? How do we show up in our
Shine.
integrity? Let's shine.
Thank you.
Shine like the stars.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because we are.
Amen. So beautiful. It's so true. And that's where we have to like really, this illusion of competition, right? This bullshit story that our predecessors have tried to continue to tell themselves of how they need to compete or how it's about money. It's so much more bigger than that. And that's what I'm excited about, to be here with you guys, is in this time and space. Because we're really getting to shine and to create. It's like it's perfect timing.
Yeah, and as we spoke earlier, like if time is an illusion, then by changing the now, we can change all the past, which is whatever 13 billion years, if such thing exists, So then we can change also the future, and that's a
the
lot
future is now.
Yeah.
Amen. I love you guys. I could just sit here and listen. Amazing. It's so refreshing to speak with family, like cosmic brothers like this that are so open and so real and so vulnerable in their presence. Because I realize that we don't really need to say much, to be honest. Because we are really just
Yeah,
being,
I see
and
what you mean.
it's it's like we're not talking about problems. We're focused on, hey, let's go build. So even though in this energy or in this conversation we're having the discussion about it, our actions outside of this room are always about creation. We're not limiting ourselves at all.
That's a good point. It's a good point, especially for you.
Mm.
The living in and now, like what is there to limit?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's if future does not exist, past does not exist, like why would we limit ourselves? And that's the beauty of these daily calls, because like it's like I'm continuously reminded about the nature by meeting, like, you know, it's just so cool. Every day is a refreshment of memory, because that's what we kind of have as a error in the system. It's forgetting. because 13 billion of years of memory storage banks we are, a lot to carry.
Yeah.
So it's cool to spend these kind of, you know, I mean, we covered a lot right now in this conversation, from energy to time to we trespassed all the, we bent gravity literally.
We don't know what we don't know. And the more we know, the more we understand that we don't know anything. We just need to remember.
And
And
stay humble, huh?
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's you know, I guess the more you mature and the more you follow the, or not follow, the more you reconnect with the source, the more downloads you get, and the more the vision is becomes more clear, and that knowledge and ideas are just coming from the ether.
Mhm.
And that's when you manifest things.
Are you gonna go to Pinkfest, Darius?
Pinkfest. What is Pink? Oh, the Portugal.
Yep.
Not sure. I think it's like what, end of May.
Yep.
Yeah, in 3 weeks, what, 2 weeks, 20 days.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still gonna be here, man. I'm hoping that Joe will visit, and so I'll want to spend more a bit, you know, at least couple weeks with him, because he has that some sort of issue with a big client, and he doesn't want to lose the business, and he had to stay up until like mid-May, and now it's almost mid-May. So I messaged him actually today
Why don't you
to
guys why
find
don't
out
you guys
how he's doing.
why don't you guys all meet at Pinkfest? Why don't you bring him
Good one.
tell Joe to go to Pinkfest in Portugal and you go there to Portugal? Could be something
Continue, Eric.
Well,
Continue,
something
Eric. Continue. You're missing one person there.
and maybe I'll show up.
yeah, I mean,
And
I
Maybe.
think Joe would rather go to Bali than to Portugal, because after Portugal, still he would have to go to Bali, and because I will be going to Lithuania, you know,
but then
like
there's
mid.
there might be an energy there, or a bunch of us there, that might be able to bring a lot more solutions. Because when we're all together in a physical space and we're talking about solutions together, something might even more profound manifest.
Are you going to be
And
there?
I believe that this is something that we are all manifesting right now. So
Okay.
uh, and some of the brothers from Amsterdam, and Dubai, so it's in the process of manifesting itself.
This is my favorite part of this conversation. So I'm listening.
So something to think about.
Rocket report. We have 4 poles in the ground. The rocket is coming up. We need more. We need astronauts.
Psychonauts.
The
Yes,
launching window is the launching window of the rocket is between 31st to 31st of May to 4th of whatever is after. And it's just my window seal curtain just fell down when I said that. So the rocket might take off in those days.
Yeah.
Potential launch.
How many of you are there building the stuff?
So far, 4, 5, 6. Like it's people coming in and going out, like 1 day, 2 days, and then somebody who comes jump in, helps. But three of us are the main. Four of us, the main that builds now.
Are you guys, going with the schedule or behind?
No, we're going by the feeling, man. Like I'm pretty certain we're gonna build it. Like we are three pretty much professionals in all kind of the. Toby is a stage builder. He built the stages around the world,
Okay.
all over the place, like Boom and stuff. And another gentleman came. He's a builder from, like, he just loves building. He saw the announcement about the rocket and he's like, "This is me, it's me. I come." He came from Germany. He came from Germany, and
Nice.
more people showing up. So more people coming on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know now, but it's like it's already happening. The Pink Fest already
Nice.
happening.
I love it.
We're having a whole month celebration here. But yeah, like just consider very seriously if something you want to miss. Think about if you're gonna have a regret in life of not coming to Pink Fest, or you can live with that.
Oh my God! Thank you for that burden. That's a real brother.
I mean, like that's like, I don't want you to have regrets in your life, for sure. None of it. Like like that's my. I don't want to have regrets in my life. But yeah, would be fun. Would be fun to all of us to get together here and just like see what's gonna come out.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
it would be cool. I'll mention that to Joe. I mean, let's see what he says. But I mean, he needs to respond first, and then we can chat about it. Because I'm down. I'm cool with going there. Whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe bring him to one of these calls too, so he can actually, if he has the time and the space on one of the days over the next few weeks, to get him here on the
I'll
call,
try to get him on. Yeah, yeah.
because that will also create a level of curiosity and brotherhood, right? Where he'll feel a little even more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And actually, I really appreciate you, Eric, organizing this because um it I really need that brotherhood because I when I came here, I was like kind of, let's call it, lost. And um within my circle of friends, I don't have anybody, well, old friends from the school, and all those, none of them are deep or conscious, you know so the basic plain conversations were like stuck in my throat already. I was like, fuck, what am I doing here, and this what we're doing now, it gives me so much joy and confidence and energy that uh it's honestly, it's what I needed the most, to be honest, because I didn't have brothers that I can actually talk about deep shit,
Alien.
business,
Alien.
and everything else. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah. So I mean, it's a life changer.
Well,
I'm positive that there's gonna be, you know community growing and growing, and the goals that you have with all the projects, it will just materialize itself, because it's super important. Here people can come and be vulnerable, and come to fucking answers and solutions, and advice or whatever. Not necessarily advice, but maybe direction, and then they can apply that within their
Insight.
situation. So yeah, I highly appreciate what you're doing.
I love you. You have no idea how much this means to me hearing this. You just gave me the greatest gift, because this is really what we intended this for, is to really be there for each other. And I have to also give a huge responsible thank you to Sagitas, because without him, we wouldn't even be having a reflection to be able to look back at each other, right? So this is a team effort, big time, and we're all here to magnify each other's presence. And I agree, my brothers. We're gonna materialize a lot of really major projects globally,
Yes.
because this is a safe space for big, strong minds to come together and say, "Hey, let's find the solutions. Let's get the right people. Let's find the right resources." Because it's not about the resources; it's about the resourcefulness. And when we do that as a team, wow, we become superpower. We become the conscious expression of our mother's energy in human form, in the physical presence of a masculine energy that can move, of integrity. And so that integrity becomes the presence of who we are as a unified source. It's like, think of King Arthur, and all like, they were all at the round table together,
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
as a team. And that was what made them so strong. And there's a lot of different stories in association with that. But this is really what we're doing, is we're really willing to step up to the pattern of the new rather than focus on the bullshit of the old. We're creating new
right,
patterns. We're understanding the old patterns. We're utilizing the lessons from those old patterns, but we've become such masters in our own spaces that we're coming together to create new patterns, not about one of us, but about all of us. And I think that this, brother, what you just shared, is super important to even share with Joe and say, listen, dude, like, this is something that, you know, uh, is exciting for me. And this is why. And just getting him to, because it sounds like, from my perception, the little bit that we discussed about it, is what this is exactly the same thing that he may need.
I think
Is
so, actually.
in a place. And then if 5, 6, 10 of us show up at this Pink Fest, where we're saying, hey, we're ready to fucking build, and this is where the launch pad starts, and we're not taking any bullshit behind. We are literally, by coming together in a physical location, professing so much more energy than what we say, bro, because it's our presence, it's our spirit that is coming together on physical ground to say, no, 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 we're putting a flag in the ground and we're launching this rocket globally. And then we go back to where we need to go, but we go there with a plan, with a strategy, with an intention, and a knowing that we're here to serve in such a bigger level. So this is my invitation. Definitely, if we can get a few more amazing guys and ladies, of course, you know, it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
but
yeah, of
like
course.
that are very intentional and know the sovereign responsibility that we're here to manifest, and we're just gonna do it.
So
Cool,
beautiful
cool.
to hear.
Yeah,
To hear.
I always do you know Andrew Tate?
Yes.
I was always like kind of so jealous of that war room that they have, where they all these guys they meet, and they do deals, and they support each other, and there's like filter mechanism to have no bullshitters, and then whatever, and I and here it's not a war room, it's a creation room.
That's beautiful, brother. And it's
You
like
guys,
but same
what's
same
the
kind of principles of brotherhood, of supporting each other in all ways, and but on top of that, it's not only about making money, but you know supporting each other spiritually, and making money, and creating something for the greater good.
so the money is a byproduct of our impact.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
yeah, so creating value, I guess it would be like
Yeah.
because like I mean, what we do here, it gives value for me, it gives value for Eric, it gives value for Darius, and for everybody who comes. We share value. It's exchange room. It's exchange room, literally, on whatever value is for each other, right? It's so beautiful, so cool to hear you both talking about planning and trying to convince each other to come to Pinkfest. I love that. This is so good. This is my favorite episode.
And bro, it's not even about convincing. It's just about having those genuine conversations of what's real and what's not. And I think that that's the thing, is the nature of the feeling is what will guide us, you know? Because the feeling is, if we really believe, right? Then we get to make a decision, and that's it. And it's uncomfortable, it's comfortable, or whatever the nature is, we figure it out in the way that it needs to. And I fully trust that the feeling that we get in this space is profound, and the feeling that we create in this space is profound. And so by duplicating that and creating that in a physical space over and over and over and over again for 4 or 5 days, where we can have a little bit of a plan or some sort of a strategy or a little bit of a flow in addition to the magic, then we start to then integrate a responsible roles of what we need to do as we kind of go and build out these projects and integrate the resources that we have. So it becomes more fun than builders, right? Yeah.
We need to verify each other, period. That we are real, that it's not, that is not Sigita's AI sitting here, it's not Eric AI. I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, because now
I
we're
think
just avatars. Yeah.
yeah. It's like you don't know. You don't know these days with that artificial intelligence generative. It's perfect, you know. We need to see.
Oh, I love it.
Nature's energy, our mother's nature's energy, our father's nature's energy, integrity and alignment. We anchor that within our spirits, within our gut, so that we move with our physiological presence into any environment and any engagement with absolute certainty. Great teacher, great creator, please give us the strength to continuously move like water, but also be able to bend through any type of reality so that we can manifest whatever magical expression that's coming through us and serve alongside the sovereign brothers and sisters that continue to come around us. I ask for these definite brothers, Sigitas and Darius, and many other brothers and sisters for their strength to continue to manifest in tremendous magic, their vulnerability, which is just a joy to observe, their authenticity to continue to create rather than destroy, to lead and not follow, to not be worried about what others think, but just really shine like the brightest light they are. I'm grateful for them. Great teacher, infinite wisdom. I just want to say, we're so blessed to be here all together, and thank you for bringing us together. We're so grateful. I love you, brothers. Thank you so much. You're such a gift. Aho.
Amen.
Yes.
And much love to our moms, like so much love.
Yes.
Oh yes, absolutely.
All moms, all women.
All the love.
All the love. Hmm.
You guys are
All right,
beautiful.
so let's stay in touch.
Yes. Have a beautiful Sunday, fellas, and blessings to your mothers, and your
And to
grandmothers,
yours.
and all the ladies in your lives.
Mhm.
Nala, are you?